What's up? I'm a little late, but that's good. Oh, wait. Got to fix this. Jerking again. There we go. Let me adjust. Let's see how that works. Give it a minute. And it looks good. I hope everybody's well. It's just me and one other person at the moment. And I hope that person is doing good. Elatro, yay. What's up, man? Looking a little... hoping to get out. And then there's Aunt Edna. I didn't have to say her name 3 times. Kind of sleepy. Well, get some rest, honey. You don't have to hang out. Go get some rest. You need it? Take it. If I would, I'd be asleep now too. Actually, that may change. So before you leave, let me tell you now. I'm going to move tonight's spooky time to Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. And I'll be doing weekly until Miss Pixie decides she's ready to come back and feels better. Okay? So, from now on, spooky time will be on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. And then I'll still do my midnight show on Saturday. That way everybody can still hang out with me while I'm pacing the grounds. So, I hope that's cool with everybody. Let me adjust my camera. Man, I feel like my head's chopped off. There we go. If that's cool with everybody, that's what I'm going to do. I figure that way it gives me a night off in between Tuesdays. And, that gives me Tuesday, Thursday. I believe we'll know for sure. Things may be a little different this weekend. So I'm not sure if she's going to be doing oracles Friday night or Saturday night. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll let you know as soon as we know. Other than that, tomorrow night there will be nobody. Then next Thursday I'll start. So I hope everybody's cool. Of course, I'll be here for Tuesday talk. We will be back this Tuesday, I hope. If not, it will at least be me and Gemma. Ryan's got a lot going on, so I'm sure he'll be here. He kind of had things to do that day, so everybody was busy, and she wasn't feeling the best. She's still kind of sick, so be patient with her. I'll get into some encounters here in a bit. I'm probably going to have to repeat myself here in a little while once people hopefully start rolling in, and then we'll go from there. My voice is correct. Yeah, my voice is not the best, so bear with me. I got a good pumpkin patch encounter for tonight. This time I'm going to try to go into a lot of detail because it involves one of my daughters. So this should be a good one to start with. Not that we're getting closer to Halloween. So I may still stream on Halloween night. I haven't decided. Depends on if I'm here or with the kids, with grandkids. But I will definitely stream that Thursday night. So I know everybody will be streaming that night, so that's fine. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of other people I like too that I wouldn't mind watching. So better than me. So good there, I hope, with everybody. But as of tomorrow, nothing. Then either Friday or Saturday will be oracles. Then a break Sunday. Then she's got a video. Oh, by the way, no, there is something Friday afternoon. Let me get that up and I'll post it. Let me share it. She does have a video coming out Friday at 11. Her 7 days of Halloween. Oops, wrong one. I do that every time. Okay. So her 7 days of Halloween start Friday. I'll share the screen. I'll put the thing up. There you go. That will be on Friday at 11 o'clock. So make sure you check it out. She'll do 7 of them. 7 videos until Halloween. So come check it out. It's, be an upload with a chat. So please come join me. I'm sure I'll be there. Let's see what else. And then things will probably change a little bit. We'll see how things go. Hello, Mr. Jarvis. How you doing? I hope you caught all that. So, yeah, I got it. Since Pixie needed a break, and I just thought it'd be a good idea to do Thursdays at 8. Not that I like doing my Wednesday nights, but it's a little rough when I have to get up because you never know if I have doctor appointments or he has doctor appointments. And weekdays are kind of crazy. So I'm going to save my midnights for Saturday night. And if she streams Saturday for oracles, then I may do Gemma's replay tomorrow, Friday night. So just be aware. I guess it is tomorrow night because today is officially Thursday. So, but after this Thursday, next Thursday, I will be on for Spooky Time at 8. And I'll make sure everybody knows. Please show up and have fun. As time goes on and we go through Halloween, if you guys have spooky encounters that you would like to talk about live, I'll give you the link and you can come in and tell your encounter. Okay? As we go through. And then we'll discuss it. I'll do one person a night that wants to do it. And you tell your story, your encounter, and then we can talk about it. And I hope that sounds good to everybody. But through Halloween, I'm just going to tell my encounters and let you guys enjoy yourselves. So those will be the change ups for right now. Anybody got any questions? I think that will be a good time, Edna. I really do. I'm trying to beef things up, and she's going to try to beef some things up. I may do, as we get going and things get kicking, I may do a stream on Rumble. I'm looking at everything now. It seems like they have their own little setup, so it's nice. I just got to figure out a few things, and then I will do a stream on Rumble. And I'm going to try to talk her to do her lady stream on Rumble, too. So that way you guys can have fun and not feel like you're being censored. So we can open up a little bit more. YouTube's going to get a little tight now. So, and they already are. So we got to watch what we say. And everybody says, oh, everybody says that. But that's the way it is right now. And unfortunately, YouTube is not what it once was. So let's make the best out of it and have a fun time. That's what I want to do. And that's what I want to do for her. So anybody that's got encounters, I know Latro, didn't you have one that you wanted to talk about? This would be, we could set up a date and have you come on. And, if you could do like an 8 o'clock, that's great. Okay. So just let us know. Anybody else? Edna, I know you have all kinds of interesting stories. Have you on one night? Maybe have you, Jarvis, if you want to come on. So I'm going to leave it up in the air. But for till Halloween, I'm just going to give you encounters and let us just have fun hour or so. I'd like that too, Edna. I did enjoy that a lot. I think it'll be fun. And being at 8, maybe once in a while we can get Gemma to slip in with us. So if she can get away from the little one, we'll play it by ear and take one step at a time. That's all you can do. As long as we're moving forward, I'm a happy man. So I hope you all are having a good week so far. Yes, it would be fun. And sometimes it's nice to hear from the source's mouth. So I thought that would be a good idea. I don't have a studio set up at the current time. We are checking out the house to sell. I will be happy to provide some stories later on. That's fine too. Just you can send them to my email. You just go to my page, my Facebook page, and just click on community, or I'm in on other or whatever it is, and my email's right there. It's also in here somewhere, I think. If not, I can give it to you. If you don't already have it, I think you already have it, don't you? Been catching up on all the new horror movies. I've been during Halloween, I go retro. So, but there are some new ones I do want to check out. I caught up on The Penguin. I love that show. And a couple of my other shows that I'm watching. Probably don't appeal to many other people because it's anime. Excuse me. Started watching the new Dragon Ball Daima. That's not bad so far. I've only seen 2 episodes. We'll see where they go with it. But yeah, I'm probably gonna either depending on how busy I am, it'll probably be Halloween night. I usually stay up all night and watch nothing but horror movies. That's probably when I'll catch up on the new stuff because there's a couple on HBO Max and a couple I want to see that I've never seen before on some of the other streaming services. Downloaded. I heard it's not bad. So we'll see. I've heard kind of. Yeah, Long Legs is supposed to be really good. 7 Cemeteries. I haven't heard that one. Terrifier 3. Yeah, I'm saving that for Halloween. That is one I'll watch on Halloween because I've seen them all. I've seen the first 2, so just gruesome fun. That's all that is. Maybe they'll give us some backstory, though I don't think they have yet. Bagman was good. I've never heard of that one either. I'll have to look at that one. The last couple ones that I saw, I wasn't really too thrilled about. Let me go ahead and move this. But remember, this tomorrow, I meant Friday. Yeah, tomorrow, Friday. Might as well say tomorrow. 11 o'clock. I hope to see you folks there. Let me get that out of here. And we're back. No, I haven't heard of 7 Cemeteries, and I haven't heard of Bagman. So I'll have to check those 2 out. See what those are. Any other good ideas? I usually watch the classics. I'll watch those. I've already watched Dracula and Frankenstein. I'll probably watch Wolfman tomorrow. And then I go into a werewolf phase where I watch a couple nights of nothing but werewolf movies. And then probably Wednesday night, depending on how things go. I always try to fit in The Exorcist, only because it just kind of keeps me in tune with what happened in the past. What we got here? 6? Yeah, I guess I can get into it. I'm going to start with an encounter tonight that I had when we had taken over. My grandparents owned a home on the west side, like a little mini farm in this neighborhood. It was a nice piece of property. Anyways, but the house needed a lot of work. My brother rented it for a while, and then his wife got transferred, so they moved to Sydney, Ohio. So Mom and Dad offered us the house. Well, we rented the house for like a year, and then finally they offered to sell us the house. So we bought the house. Anyways, the first Halloween we were there, that first year we were there, as the kids were going to school, we were trying to find a pumpkin patch to go pick pumpkins with the kids for Halloween. And Dad had told me about a place because my grandparents lived there, and I don't remember ever going there. Told us about a farm down the road, and they have like a pumpkin patch, a real nice one too. It's huge, along a creek bed, and it goes down. You go down, and they take you down in the wheel and the hay ride, and you go down, and then you just roam that place. And they had some fun stuff to do. But the first year we went, it was just me and Tina, my ex, and my 2 daughters, Ashley and Samantha. And Ashley is my interesting dog. They're the opposites, And Stephen King marathon. Yeah, the only one that bums me out that you have to go look for, I now have it, but I also have it on VHS, is Night Flyer. They don't show that on television. You have to go to either YouTube or somewhere to find it. They don't show Night Flyer on television anymore. I kind of know why. But anyways, Sammy's gifted, I think. She just doesn't acknowledge it. But Ashley definitely is. And so is her daughter, our oldest. Well, we get there, we're riding around, and I'm noticing this place felt real old. So I started asking, you know how you get to a place and you feel like, oh, this is like a generation farm. These people have had this house or whatever for like ever. It's like been handed down to the family. Well, that was this case with this farm. And it wasn't a bad vibe, but it was this kind of off-putting vibe. But it didn't feel bad. It just kind of made me feel unease. Well, we get in the wagon, we're riding down, and as we're going down the hill, and I'm sitting next to Ashley and Sam, and she's on the other side of Samantha, and I'm looking down at the patch, and I'm realizing it's huge, and there's some big pumpkins. And then I started seeing shadows moving around. Well, I'm looking because there's trees around, and I figured it was the sun, so I didn't pay too much attention to it. Or as we get down into the like little valley, they stop you right in front of the creek. Well, we get out, and I pick Ashley up and Sammy and put them on the ground, help Tina out. And I'm looking at the creek, and the girls are like me. And they've been around me long enough to know that I see a creek. I want to go look, see crawdads, catch salamanders, newts, because they're all heading back to the land now. So I started over that way, and the guy goes, "Oh, you don't go play by the creek, please." So we kind of turn around. Me and the girls turn around and start coming back. Or as we're coming back, I see what looks like an elderly woman in a long dress. I couldn't tell you what period it was. It was just like a long farm dress, is what I call it. Walking across the patch. And I'm watching. And Ashley goes, "You see her, Daddy? How come nobody's talking to her?" Because, I mean, she's walking right past people. She's looking at them. But it's like she's not being acknowledged. And she can kind of see through. And Ashley kind of goes, "Sammy, do you see that?" And Sammy goes, "I don't see nothing." And Tina just kind of looks at us, and we go about our business. So we're wandering the pumpkin patch. And Ashley's trying to pick up this really huge pumpkin. And I look up, and coming behind her is this old lady. And as she kind of steps out of the shadows and into the sunlight, that's when I could really tell. She wasn't white like smoke. She was like a gray, transparent. But I could see the sundress. I call them farm dresses. You know how farm. She had the big dress on with the rape apron on, and she had her hair kind of pulled back, and she was walking with a cane, and she's walking up to the back of my daughter, reaching out with one hand. And I kind of grabbed Ashley and picked her up and put her over, still backside of the other side of the pumpkin, and go, "Let me get that." And she goes to turn around and go, no, you go ahead and go get with Mommy, and I'll grab this. And she runs off, and as soon as she runs off, the lady disappears. I mean, gone. And I'm freaking. I'm like, there's no way I just saw this. There's just no way. And I turn around, and I think it was the lady I think it was the wife of the guy that owned the farm. And she's standing up on a porch that kind of oversees everything. And she's looking down at me. And she just standing there. It was kind of not creepy, but it was like I knew she saw it too. And she just kind of turned around and walked away back into the house. So I just kind of played cool. Went up, took the pumpkin, and put it down on the beside the kids. And Sammy was still trying to pick out her pumpkin. So Sammy's, still running around looking for a pumpkin. And Tina was going to pick her one out, and I was going to pick one out. So I'm walking with Sammy, picking pumpkins. And Sammy, goes down to pick up a nice small one, the one she could carry, because this is the one I want. I go, okay. And we turn around, and that lady walks right in front of us again. And as she walks, she looks right at me and smiles. And looks at Sammy, and Sammy's totally oblivious to what's happening. I mean, it's obvious she does not see it. And I go, "Hello." And Sam goes, "Who are you going to say hello to?" And I said, "You didn't see her." He said, "See who?" And I said, "Oh, don't worry about it." So we're walking back, and I see a nice pumpkin I want, because I like the big, long ones that I can really work with. So I grabbed one of those, and I picked one out. And we're walking even farther, and we're getting close to Tina and Ashley, and there's a lady behind her with about 5 kids. And I see that old lady come out of nowhere, walk up to the group of kids, look down, and she goes to touch one of the top of her head. It looked like a little girl, if I remember right. Went to touch the top of her head. And as soon as she placed her hand down, she was gone. And we didn't see her anymore. We went up. I paid. I kept my mouth shut. Tina was like, what's going on? I go, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We get in the car. We load the pumpkin. We get in the car. And we start heading back. And Ashley goes, that old lady was just everywhere, wasn't she? And Tina turned around and goes, what are you talking about? And Ashley goes, didn't you see the old lady that was walking around? She was all shimmery and you could see through her. She was a pretty old lady, walked with the cane. And my wife just looked at me and I go, I ain't saying nothing. And it was never discussed after that. I got home. He took Ashley off to the side and I go, do you see things? And Ashley's like, not often. Sometimes I see Papa. No, that's her father's, or it's her dad's dad, I guess, or somebody. And I didn't think about it. I just kind of blew it off. And it was Tina's dad, but he was still alive at the time. But apparently she saw him in her room a couple times. That's all I can say about that. It's hard to explain. Anyways, and she did this even after her other grandpa passed when she was a child. When she was older, she would talk to these people, and she didn't think me and Tina could hear them. We'd always ask who she was talking to. And she would never give us an answer. The guardian, I think, I never got to talk to the lady on the porch. But my guess, yeah, she may have been a guardian. I think she probably was a grandparent or maybe even her mother. She didn't look upset. She looked like she was just enjoying watching everybody, all the kids run around and people picking their pumpkin. It was like she wanted to help. She wanted to be with the kids and help. That's the impression, because I watched her a couple times pass by groups of people. Like she wanted to interact with them. And it was kind of heartwarming, but heartbreaking at the same time. She must have really loved that farm. That's the only thing I can think of. But actually, every so often we'll bring it up. But I haven't heard her talk throughout those years. But as she got older, I don't think she either remembers or just kind of forgot about it. And then there was this time that we were with the kids. I was working for Bonanza at the time. And sometimes Tina would bring the kids in to eat dinner and see Dad. So they're in Bonanza. They come into Bonanza. And it was pretty trippy, actually. I was working the line, helping the girl cook. We were kind of busy. And they try to come in at the end of dinner rush. So they come in. I see them coming through the line. I say hi to the girls. And Giles wasn't born yet. And they, go grab a table. And I'd get things caught up. And as we slowed down, I'd go out and sit down and have my dinner with them before I'd go and get ready to close up. And they'd go home and get ready for school and all that stuff. Well, they come in, they come down the line. And now, if you've ever been in a Bonanza, it's like a cafeteria. You come down the hallway, then you meet a greeter. They give you a tray and a salad plate and silverware. And you take your tray, you slide down, you get your drink. And there's sometimes dessert sitting there. And you pick out dessert, and then you didn't get to the register, and you place your order. Well, actually, you would place your order with the greeter. You'd give, as they were giving you your salad plate and stuff, you'd tell them what you want. And then they'd you go down, pay, and then you go sit down. And it would go down like an L shape, and then it'd open up into the dining room, and the salad bar was in the middle, and then everything was around it. Well, they got lucky that night, and there's a table in the corner that's a round table. And everybody, that's where the employees sat at the end of the night because it was big and we all squeezed in there. We kind of away from most of the customers because they always sat closer to the salad bar. They went over and sat at the round table. Well, we lived, the Bonanza I worked at, was real close to the hospital. So we get a lot of hospital patients in. You know, people would bring their grandparents over, or they would get out of the hospital and they'd come in and eat. Bonanza was founded in Komoko, Indiana. I lived there for 4 years. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It became a franchise within 2 years, I believe, of it being founded. Anyways, I believe I could be wrong. So they come in, but anyways, we were close to the hospital, so we get a lot of people. We used to get these 2 doctors to come in for lunch, and then we'd get a lot of nurses and stuff. But we'd also get a lot of elderly people, you know, probably going to visit family and stuff. And we used to get this couple in. There was about a month we used to get them in like twice a week. They said they were visiting his brother in the hospital. He was really sick. One day they stopped showing up. We didn't think what, but it got to the point where we knew their names. And they stopped coming in. And we just hoped they were okay. Well, the kids come in, they sit down. Dan takes them to get salad bar. I'm standing up at the line watching them and watching over the restaurant. Getting ready to go make my rounds with coffees and check on everybody. And I grabbed the coffee pot and I'm walking around, and Ashley's standing at the salad bar and she's talking. I can see her because she was on the other side, but I couldn't. She looked like she was talking to somebody, but I couldn't see Tina or Samantha. And I'm watching. So I, kind of work my way around to her, and she's standing there just holding a conversation with nobody. I mean, she's just talking up a storm. I'm like, who are you talking to? So I walk up to her and ask, who are you talking to? There's nobody standing there. She goes, yeah, you see him. He's standing right there. He has a red sweater on, button-up sweater, and he's old, real old. And I hear this giggle. And it came out of nowhere. It was like right behind me. I heard a giggle. And she goes, the lady with him is really nice too. And I kind of stopped and I go, what do they look like? So she's describing these people, She's wearing a pantsuit. And she goes, they're old as grandpa and grandma. And he got a cane and she got a cane. And they're both just looking at me, smiling, talking up a storm. I didn't think nothing about it. But we got a lot of old people to come in Bonanza. So I figured, maybe it was one of the old regulars. So I just kind of agree with her and be cool. Well, she goes, sits down. I kind of look around, didn't think anything of it because I wouldn't know. I have no idea who she would have been talking to. Well, a week later, this guy comes in and thanks us for being nice to this old couple. And I can't remember their name. And he goes, yeah, they were coming to visit me while I was in the hospital. It's my brother and his wife. And I said, yeah. I kind of paused. And he goes, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, they were on their way here and had an accident. They both died. Passed, I should say. I got to watch what I say on YouTube. They both moved on in life. And it immediately stuck to me because when they came in, they were so nice to everybody, very friendly. And those are the only 2 I can think of. So I kind of stood there in shock. And to forget the lid, I'm sucking on drops because of my throat. And I just all of a sudden just started dawning on me that they could have been those 2 she was talking to. Because Ashley had mentioned that they were there visiting somebody. And I didn't register then until he started talking to us. He was real polite. But he goes, I wanted to come and meet because they said they loved this place when they came and visit. So I wanted to come in and try. Hold on. So, yeah. So Ashley definitely sees things. Almost as she's more like Gemma, though, than like me. Because when I worked in the restaurant business, especially around Halloween, and I'm going to talk about when the bruises on my arm, see, they're starting already. I'm getting closer to Halloween, and they're already starting already. When that started, and about the time of year that happened. Funny thing is, folks don't know that Bonanza started by Dan Blocker. Love Dan Blocker. Why should I say that? I know the name because I work for Bonanza. because he came up a lot when Ponderosa bought the rights to Bonanza. Did you know that, Latro? And that's why most of the Bonanzas are gone. And only ones that stayed open were franchised, and they stand out. Haas. Yeah, Haas. Okay, that's why. Car rights. Yeah. Anyways, when Ponderosa bought the name, they did away with it. That's why you saw a lot of them. The only ones that are open, I don't know if the Bonanza over there in Kentucky is still open or not. Haas from Bonanza. Yeah, that's who they're talking about, Edna. Yeah, he was a founder. Yeah, I always made a joke out of it because I worked at the Ponderosa. I worked at Bonanza and Ponderosa, so I always made fun that I worked for those guys because I worked at the Bonanza. Or, you know what I meant. Anyways, so yeah, but that was probably the hardest time I ever had growing up and working in a restaurant, was because I'd constantly see things and people wouldn't understand why I'd get so quiet for hours while I was working. I'd just go in the dish room and stay there. In fact, I preferred being in the dish room because I didn't have to look at everybody coming and going, all the things that followed. Yeah, he was a well-loved guy. Yeah, he was from what I understand, he was just a big old bear. One second. Now that I've almost quit smoking it, the coughing's really kicking up, so I'm coughing up all that crap now. So, yeah, but he did put a few steaks away. He was a big old boy. But yeah, that was probably the pumpkin patch, though, was probably the first real time that I'd say that I saw a ghost, because I'm sure she was a ghost. A spirit, whatever you want to call it. The way that lady stood on that porch and looked down at us and looked down at me, it was very obvious that she saw her too. I mean, she didn't look sad. She kind of was smiling. Like it was like she was happy to see her out there being with the people. But it was kind of sobering too, because the way she acted, it was like maybe she was the first time she knew she was there, but this was the first time she knew she was there. Oh, thanks. It's not spooky story, but I guess if you were, if you weren't in my shoes and you saw something like that, I'm sure it'd probably make you feel uneasy. It just, Ashley always was real casual when she was young about seeing this stuff. She wasn't afraid to talk about it. Now, I think with all of it going on in her life and everything, she doesn't connect like she used to. But she's, Rebecca, her daughter. I'm telling you, I would babysit that girl, and she would have full-fledged conversation with somebody in that back room. I actually stood at the door one day and listened to the whole conversation. I mean, they talked about the weather, about what she did that day. She told a story about almost all of her animals. It was hilarious. But she was having there was pauses like she was listening too, which even made it kind of more interesting to watch. The kids, man, the neighborhood has some Halloween decorations. Have I just put orange lights up around the door? Dan's son was one of the favorite characters on the comedy series Brooklyn Nine. Oh, okay. Dirk Blocker. Okay. Okay. I didn't know that. Never even. I was just making sure I didn't miss anything while I was running my mouth. But it looked like, no, it's just a few of you talking. There's only 5 of you, so it's 12:35. I'll probably just take it to 1 unless some more people show up. If you want me to keep going, say keep going. Other than that, I'll just let you guys talk about Bonanza and Dan. I never really paid attention. I'll have to go look. He probably does. Man, it's amazing. Like Kurt Russell's kid, he looks just like his dad too, man. It's just amazing. When he plays in Monarch, it's like, holy crap. He looks just like almost a little younger version of his dad. Tell us about a story. Okay. Now that I'm in the mood. Let's see. It was probably about 10th grade. We had gone, a parent took a bunch of us to a haunted house, a QFM haunted house. That's the radio station. And they would, during like the first 2 hours of their haunted house, they would kind of make it family friendly. So, we're young, we're 10th graders, and, we're just getting our license. So, we waited till the family time was done and we go in. And, we're walking through, and her dad's in the back. He's the one that took us, a friend of ours. And it's 4 of us, and we're walking through and, getting the booze and say typical stare, you're walking, and it's a house. So you go in the living room. There was a funeral scene. Like, it was done up like a mortuary. And then you go in, and there's the guy in the coffin would jump up and scare you, blah, blah, blah. And as we're going up the stairs, because you go in the living room, and then there was like a little library that they had somebody hanging in. Let's just say swinging. And they would be flopping around and stuff. And we went up and then there's a staircase and another way you could go. Well, we decided to go up the staircase first. So we go up the staircase. And as we're going up the staircase, I see somebody step out. The staircase goes up, and then you have like a little railing, and then the hallway, and then there's like a room where there's a room, and it looked like a bathroom. There was a bathroom, but it was locked. And then it looked like a closet because it wasn't as big as the other doors, and that was locked too. We go up, and the door on the one side, you go upstairs on the left-hand side, the door swings open. I'm expecting somebody to jump out. Instead, we stop. And this black shadow comes out, steps out, and literally just glides across into the wall, across the hall. It didn't go through the door. It went through the wall because the doors were kind of, how would you call it? So parted differently. Anyways, he just comes out and goes straight across. And we're all standing there looking at it, and the kid's dad going, man, that is some seriously good effects. So I go up the steps and look in the room, and there's a guy standing there waiting. And he looks up at me, and I look at him, and I'm expecting to see like a projector or something. And there's this guy in a werewolf costume. He's got a werewolf mask on, and he's just standing there waiting. And he looks at me, and I go, you didn't see that? And he goes, see what? And we all just turned around, and we walked down those stairs and walked right back out that front door. And the dad goes, that was real, wasn't it? I go, I think it was. And the girl started crying. So the lady was running the booth, like the ticket booth, comes out and goes, is she okay? Did she get scared that bad? I mean, it's not that scary. And I go, no, we actually saw a black shadow go from one room through the wall. And she stopped. She goes, no way. And her dad goes, what do you mean? She goes, when I was down getting ready for tonight, this big, huge black shadow comes out of the kitchen and goes up the stairs. And I followed it thinking it was one of the guys in a black sheet, but it disappeared at the top of the stairs. And then she goes, and her dad's like, oh, no way. And the girl starts crying even harder. And I'm like, way cool. We're really in a haunted house. And the lady goes, no, but the thing is, the other night, a group of people came in, and they were all girls, and they all come out screaming. I mean, screaming bloody murder. And goes, excuse me, guys, and goes, and the girls tell her that this black shadow literally passed through them, and it just like stopped. It went through. They were in line, and apparently when it go through one, and before it went through the other one, it would stop and look at the girl in the middle. And apparently she freaked out, and then it passed them two and disappeared. She said the girl was so freaked out they had to actually call the police. And I'm like, no way. We're all freaking out laughing. This poor girl, his daughter's just losing it. So I go, can we go back in? You paid for a ticket. You didn't go all the way through, so go ahead. So me and the two other guys that we were with, and there was four of us. It was me, Sam, John, and Sarah. And Sarah wouldn't go, and her dad wouldn't go back in. So we go in, me and the guys go back in, and we go upstairs, get scared by the werewolf, because we forgot who was even there. We go to the next room, and we open the door, and the door won't open. And the guy goes, and the werewolf goes, you can't open it. You should be able to open that door. It won't open, dude. And we're trying to open the door, and it won't open the door. So he goes up to it, still in his mask and stuff. And there's people standing behind us laughing, just laughing. And he opens the door, and you can feel his body just kind of stiffen up. And he shuts the door because you don't want to go in there. And they closed it that night. And it opened the next night. I mean, it literally closed right after. They made everybody leave, gave everybody their money back, and everybody goes home. So I had just got my driver's license, so I was able to pull the car. So me and I think it was John went back, and they hardly had anybody there. Like half the employees quit. They barely made it through Halloween. It ended right at, a lot of those Halloween houses, they go through at least a week or so, never opened back up. But the next year, they was in a whole different place. It was a trip. That was one up in Westerville. But we had been on that farm before, and it was an old farmhouse. Excuse me again. Talking too much. But I'm loving it. We'd gone up there before, a long time ago, before the QFM took it over. And that place was creepy. It was a farm that was down the road from them, that house that was abandoned, that I saw that spider creature crawl out of the ground and take off into the fields. So that place that's all Indian country and stuff like that. So God, I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying. Up in Westerville, there's a few old cabins back in there in some of those wooded areas that have never been touched, that have been there forever. I believe there's a couple still in town, not cabins, but houses that, like, were there when Westerville. So it's an old town. But it's funny because Westerville is a dry town. You can't buy alcohol. At least when I lived there, you couldn't. And I think they now serve alcohol. But for the longest time, Westerville was dry. You couldn't get alcohol there. If you wanted to drink, you had to drink at home. You had to go get it out of the town. But I believe they have bars now. I can see why you'd have to drink to live in that town, from what I've understood. Because the campus, I think it's Audubon, one of the campuses there, and it's super old. And I've heard really interesting stories out of that. Yeah, I believe so. There are bootleggers that ran around in that area because Westerville was dry for, I mean, it's only been might be a while longer than 20 years that it just now started serving alcohol. I think we lived there for a year and a half in Westerville. And I think they changed probably about 2 years after we moved, maybe 3. That they actually started allowing them, gave out liquor license and stuff. But yeah, if you wanted alcohol, you had to leave, go down the road and cross 270 to get alcohol. My nose is starting to run, so forgive me. Actually, bootleggers is interesting. I've heard some stories about family members that, and actually cousins that will bootleg him even to this day. But see, that's one thing I will say about both sides of this family, dad's and mom's side of the family. Man, they made some killer moonshine, man. Whew. Back in the day, there were many beer joints, says there were churches. Oh, yeah, for sure. Visited JD's silly dry county. Yes, it is. Jack Daniels is a dry county. Yes, it is. Yeah, I've never been there. I've been by it. I hear it's pretty cool to go check out. You know what's cool is before I moved back in here with Pop, me and a friend of mine from John from Cincinnati, a guy I worked for when I worked down there, and he worked with me up here in Columbus for Bonanza and Ponderosa. And we had gone down to Kentucky. They had just finished the Ark and opened it to the public, the Noah's Ark that they have there. Pretty cool, actually. I mean, it's pretty impressive. But we're walking through there, and he starts laughing. I go, "What are you laughing at?" He points. He goes, "There's dinosaurs on this boat." And I go, "Yeah, they believe that dinosaurs still exist at that time." Yeah, they had a couple raptors. It was wild. But yeah, they did. The guy said, "Yeah, we believe that everything was here. And that's what dragons were dinosaurs." Going back to beet juice from earlier, Fanta. That's 4 new flavors from the movie Outlet Figures. I haven't had a Fanta. Oh, how many years is this? I mean, in days to be not too bad. We used to have a place up here called Whistle Pop, and you used to be able to go to these stores, and they had the best flavored pop. They're grape, they're orange. They had a cherry that was just out of this world, and you'd literally get a big, huge. You get a crate, and you could fill it. And then when you were done, you could take those bottles back, get the deposit on it, and apply it to a new crate. Oh man, we would have pop for like 2 months, but it was the best bottled pop I ever had, and I was so bummed. And then it turned out one of the guys that ran one of the stores moved up the street, so about once a week he'd bring down their root beer was really good. Would bring me down a thing of root beer because I played baseball with his boy. Oh, it was almost, I missed that place. And I'm not a big pop drinker. My friend Tim has worked at the Ark for 25 years. I tease him for the dinosaurs on the. Oh, do you really? Oh, you say you know somebody who actually works there? That's wild. I thought it was impressive work, though. Man, I was like, holy crap. I was really impressed. The building, the boat itself was so well done. And it draws quite a crowd. I was really shocked. It was like really busy. I didn't expect, the grand opening week. We didn't know. We figured it'd be curiosity people there, but that place was packed. Yeah, John was making jokes about it all through the boat. My dinosaur might bite you. Best root beer I ever had was caramel vanilla. It was a brand from IGA. Oh, IGA makes good pop. They had some good stuff in the day. A&W. I kind of lost. Not a big fan up here with A&W. The big ones up here is Mugs and Dad's. Now, Dad's ain't bad, but Mugs is a lot better. And then there's one other that I like that you can buy independently. I mean, you can buy it in the bottles, and I can't think of the name. Oh my gosh. But that root beer is really good too. I'll have to think of the name. I only get it when I go to this one restaurant because they're the only ones to carry it. It's so good. I've never had caramel vanilla. Actually sounds pretty tasty. Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's why I never drank Diet Pop. It's just as bad as real pop, if not worse. Yeah, I believe that. Those artificial sweeteners are not good for you. Yeah, and every time I've tried artificial sweeteners, I've gotten sick, so I just don't touch them anyway. When I grew up, Kirtland, Ohio, had a joint called Dog and Suds. Oh, really? That'd be a great name. Giles took me. I think it was Giles. Yeah, it was Giles took me one day for my birth. This one time for my birthday to a place called Kilts. Man, that place was good, and the women were just too cute. It was like going to a fancy Hooters, but man, they were cute. Not as risque, but man, I'll tell you what, the food, their barbecue was just. Mwah. Now we're talking about food again. Where's AK when you need it? We still have A&W root beer stands. Oh, we used to have one down the street here, actually, actual A&W restaurant, the burger joint. And you still have them down there. This one closed a long time ago. Now it's a Ritz. Then when it closed, it became a car dealership, a used car dealership. Then it closed down. It sat empty for years. Then Ritz Burgers, I think it's Ritz, bought the place. But when A&W was there, oh man, that place was prime. I was always bummed when it closed because it was one of my favorite places. That place, and we had a place called Don's Drive-In that was literally at the top of the street. And it was an old drive-in. Now, by the time I got old enough, it was pretty much had seen its heyday, but had stayed open. I was so bummed when it closed. The lady that ran the place, she made the best homemade shakes with real ice cream, good and thick. I mean, made a Blizzard look like. But their food was always fresh. I would actually, she actually had a butcher bring in stuff. She never pre-ordered stuff. Her and her husband ran the place. Don ran the place forever. Dad remembered when they used to have the girls out there, the skates and stuff and everything when they first moved here. Dogs and Suds is a Miss restaurant, United States-based chain of hot dog and root beer. Drive-in style and eateries. The chain was started. Oh, wow. Another one in Indiana. I'll tell you, Indiana, Ohio, known for starting restaurants. A lot of places use Ohio as a test market. Wendy's headquarters used to be just right down the street from me. I mean, not right down the street, but probably about 20 minutes away on 161. Big old headquarters. I've met Dave a couple times. I actually worked for Wendy's for about a year while Bonanza was in it. After the one at Grayson closed down and all the Bonanzas were starting to shut down and the Ponderosas were still, Ponderosa had bought a guy from, no, we were Bonanza when we opened the one on Old Tansy, and then they sold the name, and that's when they made a switch over because we weren't a franchise. They made a switch over to Ponderosa. We were arguing why couldn't they just call it Steak Plus or something, But anyways, but yeah, I like those old restaurants, those kind of restaurants. It's like I had read an article up here. I don't know about down there, Chris, but somebody says Arthur Treasure's fish and chips may try to make a comeback. I also heard Friendly's may come back too. So we'll see. I don't know if they will in this economy, but maybe they'll show back up. I know Arthur Treacher's was looking at a couple of locations north of here toward Cleveland. Yes, both. Yeah. I'd like to see him come back. I'd love to. That was another one we had right at the top of the street. Well, not at the top of the street, but down the road a little bit was an Arthur Treacher's. I love that place, man. Their fish was always perfect. They open up and Red Lobster's shutting down. Red Lobster's lost it for me a long time ago. They started going downhill to me probably about 5 years ago. And then you're still awake. I stopped telling stories on her. Now we're talking about restaurants. Oh, she is. She just said so sweet. I was going to say that must be our last words. Oh, sweet. I'm sorry. Brownie's hat that I ate scoop peanut butter sundae with a old jar of it. Yeah, I've heard about that. We used to have a place up here at Graceland called Fail's Ice Cream. And barely. Yeah, I was right, wasn't it? Farrell's Ice Cream. Now, we used to go in there when we won baseball games, and they'd bring out what they called the zoo, which was a bowl that was huge. I mean, this thing was huge, and it had every type of ice cream in it you could think. It came out with sprinklers on it, and we just order that. They'd order pizza, and we'd eat a pizza, and then they'd bring that out. Oh my God! Everybody left with headaches. But one of the reasons after we stopped going in as, hey, Cindy Lee, how are you doing, dear? After I stopped going there with baseball teams, I took a date there one night. And here's the story for you, Edna, before you pass out. We'd gone in there and I took a girl from high school. And we'd just seen a movie down at Grace. There used to be a 2-cinema theater down at the bottom of Graceland, which is like a little outside plaza. And we went to the early movie, and the Farrell's closed at 11, so we made it just in time. The movie ended like 9:45, so we basically just walked to Farrell's because it was just up around the corner. And we get in, we sit down, we order our food, we're talking. I knew her from high school, so it wasn't like really a date. It was more like two friends going out. And we're talking up a storm. And I'm watching this, and then I start this Raider. They used to wear the barbershop quartet red and striped shirts with the suspenders and the straw hat, the fancy straw hat. And I'm watching this Raider take care of customers. And he takes a step back from the table. And I'm talking to her, and I'm watching him. And when he steps back, I see this guy sitting there, burly guy, probably good 200 pounds, big, pencils, a football player. And he's sitting there, and they're smiling, having a good time. But I look past him, and there's this huge shadow. I mean, this thing was huge. It literally blocked out anybody behind him. All I could see was him and this big black shadow standing right behind him, where they're talking to the waiter, and the waiter walks away, and he starts talking to apparently his wife. I would take it. And they're just talking. And she kept looking over his head and then talk to him and look over his head. And I'm like, and the girl I'm with, Kathy, goes, what's going on? I go, I'm watching this couple over here. And she turned around and looked. And she goes, what's so funny about him? I go, I don't know. There's just something going on over there that just caught my attention. So we start talking again. And this thing, while they're talking to her, I'm trying to talk to her and make her think that nothing's going on, because I don't want to say, hey, there's this big, huge black shadow standing behind this guy, because she didn't know that part of me. And like some of my other friends did. So we're talking, I'm watching, and this thing literally leaned over him. And when it leaned over him, it literally covered him. And I kind of sat back. Now what's going on? And I look over, and it lifts off of him. They're still talking, but he looks more aggressive. He looks like all of a sudden he's changed. When they get up, I can't tell what they're saying. The place is kind of loud. There's kids running around and stuff. But she kind of shrugs her shoulders and picks up her purse, and they storm out. They stop, pay, and storm out. And she goes, are you okay? I go, I don't know. Let's just eat and go. And I'm pretty sure whatever that thing was affected him or changed him, because I could feel the change in them where I was sitting at, and they were at least a good, almost on the other side of the restaurant. It's a pretty big place. I got chills. because I never seen one do that at that point in my life. Now I've seen them do even crazier things than that follow these people, follow people, and I've seen them hang on people. Now I've seen them, like I said, I've actually seen one that looked like they was trying to gnaw on somebody's head. I've seen them whisper in their ears. So, but seeing that for the first time, something like that on the first time, it blew my mind. That's when I went the next day. I swear, I went to Patricia and I told her what happened. She goes, "Yep, it's going to start getting worse, Steve. You're getting older now and you're more in tune than you ever was." Friendlies. So I hope you're having a good night, Cindy Lee. Thank you for stopping in. I'm glad to see you. Oh, and for those who are just coming in or just tuning in, things are going to change up a little bit. My Wednesday night, this night will be switched to 8 o'clock on Thursdays. Every Thursday. From here on until Pixie decides when she's ready to come back. So spooky time will be at 8 o'clock on Thursdays. Now that way I'm not trying to get motivated early in the morning to get him going. And then I'll still keep my Saturday night Gemma's replay midnights because I like my midnights. But I needed to kind of a break, and this was a perfect time span to do it. So if Pixie comes back, then I'll do it every other Thursday. But for right now, I'll do it every Thursday. And I'm doing pretty good, Cindy. My voice is I'm doing really good. I'm down to like 3 cigarettes a day. I had my last one as I got on. It's starting to come up now, but I've been having voice problems. So other than that, I'm great. I mean, the allergy season's been nuts, but I'm good. I'm getting stuff done. But yeah, so Thursday nights will be spooky time now at 8 o'clock ET time. Then Friday, of course. Now this weekend, I'm not sure if we're having Oracles Friday or Saturday. If she has Oracle Saturday, I will do midnight Gemma's replay Friday night at midnight because I like those. You know, I like that time, even if it's just sitting around watching uploads of her and hanging out. That way I get my midnight hours with you guys. It's kind of nice to have somebody to hang out with when I'm at least part of the night while I'm pacing the house. And then also Friday, folks, I'm going to put this back up again. Let me put this back up again. She's got 11 o'clock video, 7 days of Halloween, starting this Friday at 11 a.m. ET time. Here's the first video. It's about black-eyed kids. I got to get it pulled up here. See if I can find it. Right there. Get rid of this. Let me go over here. Let me share it. There we go. Share. Let me switch back over. There we go. And that's her Friday video. And there'll be 7 days of videos until Halloween. But this one is about the black-eyed kids. That picture looked familiar. I used that picture in one of my. This prick is pretty funny. I don't know if she's seen the one I used. That was the one I used that night when I did Black-Eyed Kids. But I think it's pretty funny she picked the one I picked. 7 days. Day 7, Friday. Or tomorrow, officially, as we can say now. So, yeah, make sure I'll be there at 11. Come and join me. Just like one of her regular premieres, but there'll be 7 of them. She's been working hard on them, so it should be a good one. Let me get rid of. You don't need to see my ugly mug again. Hold on, I can't do that. I'll just get rid of it. You guys see it. There we go. So, but yeah, so things will change up a little bit until Pixie comes back, and then if Pixie comes back, I'll just do every other Thursday. That way, I have a Wednesday night to kind of take a break because you figure I try to be here for her premieres on 11 Mondays, and then Tuesday for Tuesday Talk. Then when I was doing Wednesdays, and then if Pixie streamed, I did Thursday. So sometimes the only day I got off was Sunday. And I don't consider Mondays are a kind of give and take because I don't have to be there, but I know she's busy, and I really think one of us should be there for those. So even if it's just me sitting in the background, making goofy noises or whatever. I still haven't smoked in almost 3 months. That's great. It's a little harder to quit this time than it was the first time. I mean, I probably would have never picked it up if I probably got divorced. And what happens when I got divorced? I got drunk and I had that smoke. And it never stopped after that. Oh, yeah. I'm starting to cough up the stuff now, even more. But it doesn't help. I don't know if I'm getting laryngitis. I get laryngitis every so often. I think a lot of that has to do with the Tourette's, how my voice kind of fluctuates. The last 2 days, I was having some pretty good muscle spasms up around my throat and my chest. And then I'd get these really bad muscle cramps. I don't let it hold me down. I mean, it ain't nothing new to my life, so I just keep moving on. So all you can do is move forward. So, Edna, if you fall asleep, good night, sweet dear. Thank you for coming. I hope to see you for oracles. Should we all sing Edna asleep tonight? Huh? Or should we make her get back up and say Edna, 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 we call you back. Give her a hard time. Yeah, I've noticed a difference now that I'm actually slowed down. Now I'm down to 3. There's been a big difference, which I knew there would be instinctively because I'm really starting to get rid of all that crap. And now my nose, when the allergies get, not everyone, I'm still hanging on. You, I know you are. That's sweet of you. Hope I got enough stories in for you before you passed out. And next Thursday, I'm going to try to have some good juicy ones ready to go. Some of them may have to write out because some of them have a lot of details. I was trying to save some good scary ones for Thursday, for Halloween. So hopefully I'll have some good ones for you. I've got one that has to deal with another one of these spider creatures that I dealt with, that I saw, but this time I had to deal with this one, and it was really creepy. And then I have also a story about a friend of mine and me who we're pretty sure we walked into his doppelganger like you did, Edna, or like your daughter did, but we were actually there when it happened. And it was creepy as crap. And it was really uncomfortable. And I really think he freaked out because I talked to him like a day or 2 after that had happened, and I have never heard from him since. So that'll be a good one. And it happened twice in the same night to this guy, and it was creepy. I mean, he was an interesting guy anyways, really smart. So he's very scientific. My son, he still talks about it. Yeah, that's what it was, your son. Yeah. Yeah, well, this happened to a guy, and he was there both times when it happened. And I was there both times. And it was all in one night. It freaked him out, too. It kind of freaked me out. But there was something really odd about that whole night in the first place. And I kind of felt like something was attached to him. He was kind of an odd guy, but man, he was super smart. Yes, I have it. It's on my page. Thank you. So sweet. That was nice of you to send that. You know, my dog is named Puff. Our dog is named Puff. My son named him Puff. We call him Puff the Magic Dog. So now I wrote it down. So Giles was singing it to him with Puff the Magic Dog instead of Puff the Magic Dog. I wish I would have seen her. I don't know, with the way he acted. Like I said, after this happened, I think I talked to him like 2 days after that, and then he just disappeared. I mean, he didn't even show up for school. He was gone. I don't know what happened. We don't know. I talked to Thomas the other night and brought him up because I was going to tell the story. And he goes, "Oh, it'll be a good Halloween story to tell." And I said, "Yeah, that's what I plan on telling." And Thomas was like, Thomas moved on me. He moved to Nebraska, so I don't have Thomas here. It's just me and Patricia now. But I can always call him. We FaceTime each other once a week. We all get together and FaceTime and talk, catch up. But 3 months later, I almost passed. Yeah, and that is kind of weird, Edna. That's something that I may look into because it was really weird. I mean, it was like the second day I didn't see him after that second day. And he didn't show up for school or nothing. When we asked about him, nobody would give us any answers. So I don't know what happened. I hope he's okay. If he's watching by chance, if you're watching, Stan, please reach out and let me know you're okay. So, yeah. But it freaked him out. There'll be a good story but Thomas was like, hey, you got to tell that on Halloween. But Thomas, when I told Thomas about it, I literally, right after he disappeared, I immediately went to Thomas. Me, Thomas, and Patricia known each other for like ever. I mean, we grew up in church together. We went to school together. They're like, I had a bunch of friends, but they're like the three friends. We all did our sayings, but we always seemed to manage to gravitate back to each other over the years. And we just build a bond. We don't intrude on each other, but yet we're there for each other. You know what we're saying? So I miss him being around because sometimes I would get up and go work off, do my Tai Chi with him at the church. He had a gym at the church. So we'd do Tai Chi together and work out together and talk. I miss that. I think Patricia misses him more because they had great conversation. He was this religious guy and she was this spiritualist. So they would have these great conversations. I'd just sit and listen. Sometimes it'd get pretty heated, but man, when they were done talking, they were hugging and loving on each other and saying, hey, it's okay. We respect each other. So it was good. It was a good thing. But I'll tell you what, when they disagreed with each other, woo-wee. I always played the moderator with those two. But yeah, and I don't know if you'd want to see him because after the way I saw him act, especially after the second time that night, I mean, after the second time, he literally didn't say anything the rest of the night. He stayed with us. He didn't want to go home, but he stayed with us. And when I tell a story, you'll see what I'm talking about. So come back. It'll probably be that Thursday at 8. And I know there's going to be a ton of people streaming on Halloween too. So if it looks like there's a lot of people streaming that night, I may just wait and do it. I know a lot of people are doing them Halloween midnight 30th midnight stream. So we'll just play it by ear, but I will do a stream. I just want to make sure that you guys I don't intrude on other people's streams because there'll be a lot of people streaming. But I want to make sure you guys hear these stories because I want to save them for Halloween. I may still do a midnight show if it looks like, but see, that's another thing. Wednesday night, there'll be all kinds of people streaming Wednesday night, Hallows Eve. So we'll see, but I'm going to make sure one of those 2 days I stream and you guys can get to enjoy those two stories. Because the one with Stan is pretty long. It's a long story. And I'm going to try to give as much details as I can. As much as I see fit to without, if he is watching, get upset at me or something. I already had one person get upset with me because I told a story that they didn't want to even acknowledge now. So, and I hadn't heard from that person for a while. And then when I first told that story, all of a sudden he came out of the woodwork. No. So, and I still tell him. He kind of peeved me off anyway. So, life goes on, don't it? So how's everybody doing so far? I got 5 people watching. And what time is it? It's 1:15. And I guess I'll say I never heard the whole version before seeing that. Oh, you've never heard the whole version of Puff the Magic Dragon? There's no pleasing anyone. There is never really. But hey, you know. No, I remember that it was a big song when I was growing up, probably you too. But my brother Tim used to sing it to drive my mom nuts. She never liked the song. So he would sing it. Just like I sing the one song I drive my kids nuts because it sticks in my head. Oh, now I can't think of it. And I hear it. I will never stop singing it. Oh, my brain in the membrane in my brain or whatever it is. I hear it, and then that's all those kids would hear all day. Insane in the membrane. 1 second again. That's what it was. Insane in the membrane. I'd start singing that, and they would stop. Now I'm going to do it again. Now that's stuck in my head again. I'm insane in the membrane. See if I miss anybody here. But Edna, if you pass out, have a wonderful night. Have a good Thursday. And hopefully we will see you Friday at 11. And if not Friday at 11, Friday for Oracles. Now I'm going to go through the rundown again. Wednesday nights. So people that come in and watch later. I know people don't always watch the whole video. But I appreciate anybody that watches the replay. Thank you so much. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe and leave a comment. Please donate if you can. The channel could use it. We're trying to grow. Gemma could really use the support right now. So tonight will be moved to Thursday nights at 8 p.m. ET time. I'll go an hour or two. I'm usually pretty flexible. I don't like rush to get off. That was the problem with this Wednesday night stream, because I'd get to going like a couple times we'd gone till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I paid for it the next day trying to keep moving. But then again, I'd been up anyways, so it's. But when I'm more active during the week, let's just put it that way, I'm not as active over the week because Sundays are my days. I try to make them my days. So Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. ET time, spooky time will be started. It probably won't start next week unless I depend on how to stream. Because like I said, I don't want to track on other people because there's other good streamers out there that will have fun and stuff to do on Halloween night. But I will stream at one of those 2 nights. And just keep an eye out on Facebook, and I'll make sure Gemma puts it in community, and we'll let you know as the week goes on. I'll probably let you guys know Tuesday after Tuesday during Tuesday talk. So 11 o'clock, I'm starting and whatever, but spooky time is changing to 8 o'clock Thursdays. Either Friday or Saturday will be Oracles. We're not sure yet. She's got plans Friday night with Little Man for Trunk and Treat. So we're hoping we can do it Saturday night. If she streams Saturday night, I will do Gemma's replays Friday night and vice versa. Also, like I said, at 11 o'clock a.m. ET time, Friday will be the beginning of her 7 days of Halloween. The first one is about BEK on Halloween, Black Eyed Kids on Halloween stories. And then I believe she'll have those 11 o'clock videos for 7 days. And then we'll have Tuesday talk at 1 p.m. Then I'll be either Wednesday or Thursday night. I'm going to try to fit it in so I'm not stomping too many people, because I think I have 2 good stories, 2 good encounters. I don't like calling them stories because they are encounters. And then one of those 2 nights, and then probably Oracles Friday. More likely Oracles Friday. She'll probably have a big hoo-ha because it'll still be Halloween in her eyes. So, and we'll go from there. Just keep an eye out on Facebook. And I think she'll probably put stuff on TikTok about it too. Keep an eye. Please watch her shorts. Hit that like or whatever, and make sure you leave her a comment for those shorts. That helps big time. She just dumped a bunch of them. Hey, Nightmare, what's up? Insane in the membrane. Cypress Hill, yep. Oh, I can drive my kids nuts with this song. I heard it when it was funny because the first time I heard that song, we were in the car with the kids. I just couldn't stop. Giles still drives Giles nuts. The Cypress Hill. Leave it to Nightmare to come in and drop the name. Who it was. Thank you, Nightmare. I couldn't remember. But once I saw Cypress, I knew exactly. See ya. You folks have a wonderful night. Nightmare, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming in and saying hey and giving me the name. Everybody, please have a wonderful Thursday. I will see you either Friday at 11 for her premiere, her 7 days of Halloween premiere. Or I will see you Saturday night or Sunday night, Friday or Saturday night for oracles. Just keep an eye out. We'll post and let you guys know as soon as possible. Also keep an eye out on your feed. Make sure you check your subs. Make sure you hit the notification. Please let us know when you're not getting notified because I've been complaining to YouTube about it. I don't think she knows that I have, but I have been complaining to YouTube about it. So, everybody have a sweet, wonderful night. Like Edna says, sweet dreams. I love you all. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you for the folks that watched the replay. I appreciate it much. In a little while here, I'll leave my comment in the comment because I always like to leave a comment, pretty much saying what I just said now. You guys have a lot of love back at you. Have a good one, and I'll see you on the flip side. Take care.